Mid-angle.
Hi guys, I'm Tyler, and I am here with my friend Dante. So we are here to talk about the topic of non-consensual insemination.
Yes.
I would have put that as the title of the stream, but I didn't know if that was too, sometimes when
We're
you're too
still
out there,
learning,
too
yeah.
forward.
We're still learning like the channel of like what to get away with on Twitch.
Yeah. I don't think it's like that crazy, but
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it should be crazy at all to talk about something that is necessary for human evolution. It's something that people assume everybody does, which is having sex. So I think it should be something that's talked about more often, honestly, on any channel where adults consume content.
yeah, so tonight I'm here again with one of my favorite people to chat with. So yeah, I guess I want to start this by really talking about, I guess, what even brought me into this conversation in the first place, which would be an experience or some experiences that I had. Yeah, it's kind of, she said put them glasses on, twin. Okay. Yes. So yeah, I was in the summer. I was messing around with somebody who I shouldn't have been messing around with in the first place. And we were obviously doing it with no protection. And at first, it was like nothing non-consensual happened until one night we are engaging in the act, and he just non-consensually inseminated me, and then just rolled over and acted as if nothing happened.
Nothing life-changing, nothing game-changing, like
nothing that you should have asked about first. Like, so I was just kind of shocked at that point. And then I immediately asked him, I was like, did you just, yeah, he did try to trap me. Did you just do this to me? And he was like, yeah. And then almost additionally tried to gaslight me.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta see the comments on
He
this
tried
side.
to gaslight me and act like, oh, that's why you should be on birth control, which is crazy.
Talk about it.
Like, you're gonna tell me to take some type of substance that, mind you, the Depo-Provera birth control trial, they're having a class action lawsuit right now for people developing tumors from taking that birth control trial. I'm pretty sure like all hormonal birth control is associated with a higher risk of cancer. So that's the first part that I wanted to talk about of my story. But then it even gets crazier because, when I was dealing with this stuff with this guy, he did that to me. And, when you inseminate someone, what happens after that is you get pregnant.
Right, period. This is
And
basic. Like, after you come in someone, what's gonna
you get
happen?
pregnant. So then from there, I ended up being pregnant against my will, against my warning. But I feel like when somebody does something to you one time and they try to normalize it, you think, oh, they try to make it seem like maybe you're tweaking, maybe I'm tweaking, but like I wasn't really tweaking. So I, obviously didn't want to keep the baby because, like I said from the beginning, this was somebody who I shouldn't have been laying down with in the first place. So yeah, this is wild. This is wild. This is wild. It would be even wilder if I told you what the person was, who they were in relation to me. But I'm gonna leave that out because I don't want to drag a bunch of other people into this story. But yeah, so I had to get an abortion. And then when the time came for the abortion, he gave me X amount of dollars for the abortion and did not even drive me to the abortion. He didn't pick me up. And I didn't even see him like after that for a while, which was like something I had to deal with. I'm not gonna lie, it did fuck me up, like being in a predicament like that. But you know, I'm gonna swivel into this new story. So during the time I was messing with this guy, I had a friend.
Different guy?
Yeah, I was friends with this other guy. I almost said his name, but I'm not gonna say his name.
So we have guy A.
We have guy A and we got guy B.
Guy A is the first gaslighter, okay?
Yeah.
And then we've got guy B on the sitch.
Yeah.
Tell
This
us
was
about
my
guy B.
friend. This was my friend, somebody I have been friends with since I was in high school, and I'm 27 now.
It's the niggas you trust.
It's the niggas who
It's not the niggas in the alley. You know, those aren't the people you expect to have, you know, decorum and self-control. It's the niggas you trust. This is not just some random nigga sliding into
these are
Tyler's
people
DMs. These are people
I gave a fuck about me. Like, these are not people from the internet. These are people I've known for more than like 5 years. People who have acted like they cared about me. I mean, they probably still in some twisted way would say that they cared about me, but let's move on to the next part of the story. Guy B, he was my friend throughout all of this. And I told him about what was going on. I was like, yeah, this guy non-consensually inseminated me, basically non-consensually ejaculated in me multiple times.
That's
You know,
crazy.
yeah. And then
Outrage.
wasn't there for me when I had to go get an abortion and shit. You know, I stopped talking to the guy. I'm venting to my friend, like I said. And then maybe like, it's probably like 2 months, 2 to 1 month in between these two situations. I started engaging with my friend, Guy B. It was just like, it was one of them things where like somebody's there for you through some shit. And then you start looking at them like, you know what, maybe. So then we engaged in sexual behaviors. And it wasn't the first time that we, you know, did the act unprotected. But like maybe the second or third time, he non-consensually inseminated me. And it was just so crazy because I was just venting to you about what I went through with this other guy, how he did the exact same thing to me. And then for you to go and do the exact same thing after I told you how I felt about it, how I told you it was non-consensual and I didn't like that, it was crazy.
And the only way that Guy B even got to the point where there is enough trust built was off the back of Guy A's mistake, right? Guy A fucked up. Guy B is coming on, shoulder to cry on. I'm the reliable nigga. I'm the nigga you can trust. Takes advantage. It's like, and then you've got beautiful, wonderful people out here like Tyler, like myself. So I'll tell my story of why, like, when Tyler shared this with me, I was like, oh my fucking God, it's an epidemic of inconsiderate niggas. Yeah. So let's just say, you know, I have, you know, Guy X, because they're all different people. So, and it's always a nigga, right? I've never been, you know, non-consensually inseminated by a woman that I'm fucking. Like, they've never tried to, like, get some of their cum inside me. It's never been a problem. So it's always a nigga who be acting like they forgot their home training while they're inside you, even though they spent months convincing you they were a reasonable ass nigga.
Hold on, did y'all hear that? They always lose their sense when they inside you after they spent months trying to convince you that they're some type of morally upright person. And
they're trustworthy. So, and it's important to emphasize that people can only hurt you that where you've built that trust, right? So the expectation of care work after something like this comes from niggas literally saying, you're my number one, you're my bro, you're mine, you know, and claiming that until it's time to actually take accountability for something life-changing that they've done. That in their mind is not life-changing, because taking responsibility for a child is an option, as opposed to taking responsibility for a child inside the body of someone dealing with this. It's not an option. Like, if you choose not to do anything as someone assigned female at birth after someone came inside you, you are at very high risk of a completely different life, a life that you did not choose for yourself at that time, and resentment, you know, from the child born from that non-consensual act. So also, can we talk about how it's really bogus to come inside someone when we've got like Roe v. Wade being challenged, when we've got birth control being, you know, threatened off the shelves?
If you don't know what Roe v. Wade is, that is the case that gave people assigned female at birth the right to an abortion. So in a lot of states in this country, abortion is illegal now.
Yeah, you can't get an abortion. So even if a nigga is like, okay, I didn't mean to come in you, but I did, and I don't really care. Regardless if they care or not, we've got the laws of the state to deal with now.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, in some states, I can be tried for murder, trying to get rid of this baby that I didn't agree to have. In some states, I can be tried for, you know, negligence. In some states, I can't even get the care, even if I have a medical issue that would make committing to a birth lethal, I could still be barred or blocked or banned by some legislative pathway, depending on the state.
Talk that shit.
Yep, from abortion. So the stakes are very high in this country today, and niggas are sounding hella ignorant when they just pump, dump, and turn over. I'm like, you're not just giving me the cash for the abortion anymore. It's not just money for the plan B. Some people don't have that option.
Yeah.
Once they're pumped in, they're locked in. They're locked into a kid.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even locked into a couple months of discomfort, pain, hormonal changes that come with Plan B. Let's talk about how Plan B wrecks your fucking insides. Yeah, Plan B is a tiny little pill that's $40 at the pharmaceutical company, but I'll pay any nigga to take Plan B themselves and fucking survive it, and you won't. Because what happens with Plan B is that your gut is wrecked, your hormones are completely thrown out of whack, because what it is, it's a very legal abortion that's only very, very narrowly safe, right? So it's safe under very specific conditions, under a very specific body type, and it's not tested on all body types. Mm-hmm. So when a nigga refuses to take accountability for coming inside me, let's call my guy X. So I meet this guy, we're in love, we're having consensual sex on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
He's very aware that one of my greatest fears in life, after having become pregnant one time before, is being pregnant again. At this point, when I'm seeing this guy, I talk to him on a regular basis about how the only reason I feel comfortable having sex without a condom is because I know that he's gonna pull out, and
yeah, that's a big part of it.
And partially because I'm also like, you know, and let's also talk about the practical reasons of why I would even avoid a condom. Like, I know some people are like, okay, why not just wear a condom and then you never have to be afraid. Why are you having sex with someone you don't trust?
Yeah.
I should be able to ask the nigga who is rearranging my insides. I should be able to ask that nigga to look out for my well-being, because him having access to me is dependent on me being mentally well.
Yeah.
And so when I was, you know, engaging.
Can I just butt in with
Yeah, go ahead.
Something you said just reminded me, like, and when I'm having relations with these people without a condom, it is only because I trust that they will pull out in time. Like, that's the only way that I'm agreeing to this. And I feel like with a lot of people, that's implied. Like, we're not doing this to have a baby. So you know what you need to do in order for somebody to not.
We're grown adults. I'm 27.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I think it's really different if we're having a conversation about 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds having sex for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is not a nigga's first rodeo.
Oh,
This-
damn. I'm sorry. One more thing just came to me.
Yeah.
So when Guy B ejaculated in me like that, the next morning he was like, oh, we should talk about this. And one of the things he gonna say was, wouldn't it be crazy if we had a baby? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, it would be crazy if we had a baby. It would flip a lot of people's worlds upside down. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not what I'm sitting here doing this for. And he's like, oh, you're acting like it's so otherworldly that we would have a baby like a plane falling out of the sky. And I'm like, no, like we could. We're doing it unprotected. Like that's something that could potentially happen, but that ain't some shit that's happening. Like I'm not just trying to have
I'm not
a
just
baby with
gonna-
somebody with no intentions.
Right, I'm not just gonna fall into having a baby. And I think that's what these niggas hope for. They hope that, part of them hopes that you won't enforce your boundary in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Part of them hopes that you won't push them off of you. And I want more for my sex life than hoping that I won't get assaulted at the last minute. I want more for my sex life than that. And so when this happened with me, this was with a man who was much older than me, who had already had several children. So talk about it, you know how to make a baby.
Yeah.
And you know for a fact that given my age and my health conditions, that it would be unsafe for me to have a baby. So when this man, at some point, we're having sex, and I think a couple months prior, we had discussed possibly, ending the relationship. And it had been a long time since we had sex.
Mm-hmm.
So when we had sex, are you okay? When we had sex, because he would talk about how he wanted to have kids one day, but when I was ready. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's great. That's what I want too. I want to feel like we're both ready and we make a decision together. I would love that. And so when he came inside me at some point while we're having consensual sex, it immediately became non-consensual.
Yeah.
I immediately became uncomfortable because what was happening is that in slow motion, I'm realizing that the person I gave my trust to is untrustworthy.
Yeah.
They're a sneaky nigga.
That's
Like,
scary.
That's horrible. And not only are you realizing that they're a sneaky nigga, but that means that they've always been a sneaky nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They were waiting for you to let your guard down to become and feel like their true selves. So when he came, I said, excuse me? Did you just come inside me? And, he yawned and then rolled over. Yeah. He yawned, rolled over, and was like, come on, we're adults. This is what happens when adults have sex.
What the fuck?
And I said, is that why you're having sex with someone, multiple decades younger than you? Are you trying to impregnate me? I thought we were just trying to have a good old time. And I think that what also happens in that moment is that the prioritization of my pleasure is completely off the map. The idea that we would be having sex just for pleasure is completely dismissed. It's very disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
And so, my last joint. And so, part of also me going on this like sobriety journey of like not drinking as much is also realizing how many times niggas would use alcohol to affect my inhibitions about my sexual boundaries. There were times where a nigga would not bring up having sex with me until I was 2 or 3 drinks in.
And that's fucked up.
There are times where a nigga only wanted to have sex with me if he had bought some alcohol. And if he didn't buy alcohol and didn't, and we weren't drinking, then, they weren't interested in having sex. So they only wanted to have uninhibited sex.
That's crazy. That is wild.
But yeah, with this guy X, I got really upset because for me, I felt like this nigga was trying to kill me. I'm like, let's talk about how pregnancy in the wrong body is a death sentence. Pregnancy cuts your life expectancy, and people are open to doing pregnancy when they're in these longer term relationships because you're cutting your life expectancy, you're giving your life to someone else, and you're hoping that you'll have a wealth of resources while you're doing this because you have a partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of having a baby unplanned is completely not interesting to me. It's really harmful to me financially, spiritually, emotionally.
Yeah.
And then it also feels harmful to the child that would be coming into the world. A child that could have been planned, but because of an act of selfishness in one moment, is just now not planned, right? And so for the next couple of months after that, I'm living in fear that I'm gonna become pregnant. Because not only am I, a young, assigned female at birth person. I'm non-binary, but it also made me feel really disrespected as a non-binary person because I felt like we didn't discuss what life would be like for me as a mom. We didn't discuss how important it would, we didn't paint that picture of like a life together with kids. So I really was completely thrown off when he came inside me. I was like, what do you think is going to happen here? I'm very young, I'm very fertile. What do you think is going to happen here? And he was like, well, if it happens, it happens. And I said, but are you actually prepared to take care of this child? And bear in mind, Guy X at the time is in his, I like him a little older because I'm hoping they won't try to make a baby with me. And this guy really surprised me. He was like in his 60s and he was trying to have a baby. He was like, we could just keep the baby. I'm like, we? You mean my life's gonna be changed forever and you could just die in like 10 years? Bro, no.
He's crazy as fuck, right?
Bro, no.
Heavy on the dying 10 years part, like.
I was like, bro, what's your plan? Do you have any money for a kid? He did not. I said, so you think that this kid's just gonna, all his daycare necessities, his food, his diapers, you're just gonna turn me into like a slumlord? Just
Right.
taking care of just babies whenever you feel like it?
I think that's part of the thought process too, is like they think that you just gonna do all the work, like you gonna take care of baby. They gonna give you whatever, $200-$300 a month or some shit. It's just like, that's not happening. Like, that shit ain't happening.
Look at this comment. Let me know straight up you getting back with Adam or not.
That's to be determined. Stay tuned on the next episode to find out.
Because I'm here. I never know when people comment, like if they were sent by Adam or if they're trying to get up on Adam's chair. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get up on you.
I feel like a lot of them just be maybe going for
Someone brought up something really important in the chat. I'm a nobody. Nobody's a nobody. Someone said a lot of people forget, even if you have Plan B or any form of contraceptive, they aren't guaranteed to work.
Yeah.
So it is like, that's so real. Like, and I think a lot of guys are very dismissive. Like after they come in you and then they realize, for example, if the condom breaks, they think, okay, all I have to do is pay $40 and then I never have to think about this again. Right? I'll pay for the Plan B and I never have to think about it. What they don't read or consider is the side effects of the Plan B and how that's going to change the life of the person that they came inside, whether it was on purpose or by accident. It's going to change their eating habits, their sleeping habits, their ability to walk, their ability to shit, their ability to piss, their ability to have sex with anybody else for anywhere from 2 months to 6 months.
Yeah. I guess you were right about the podcast vibe, but we are playing chess, but we just had to talk some shit.
We had to talk our shit because it's been the last couple of years of entitled ass niggas.
And then there's another element to the ejaculation inside of you without consent. Like, vaginal flora can be very delicate, especially to a person who, maybe doesn't have the cleanest diet or lifestyle, and on top of that also has multiple other sexual partners who they are mixing their microbiome with. Like, you can really throw off the pH of someone who maybe doesn't engage in too many unprotected behaviors. Like, I don't know if you guys know what BV is, but BV is not an STD, but it is something that you can get from somebody ejaculating inside you, whether it is consented to or not consented to. But you do have to take medication for that to go away, and you can be extremely discomforted.
The male and the female have to take medicine for the BV to go away. Why?
Barty said, yeah, it stank. Yeah, many people don't know that the bacteria that causes the upset in the vaginal flora can live in the urethra of a male. And like, if you have a partner and you don't want to get BV again, they have to be treated too.
Yeah. So, for example, if you keep getting recurring bacterial vaginosis, which is what BV stands for, which can often be confused with UTIs, and then you're, oh, do you want to grab the tea?
Oh yeah.
If you keep getting those, or your partner keeps getting those,
Which
it's
one
because
is yours?
they're identical. It's because only one of you is getting treated, and that's because there is a uncomfortable reality in this country, and that reality is that the responsibility for the health and wellness of the vagina is put disproportionately on the person with the vagina, even if they're dealing with someone who has a penis. People think if you got a penis, you just, you're sticking it into, what? I don't know. They act like they're sticking it into a honey pot, but guess what? You're actually drastically affecting the biome, which means that now there's a pH imbalance, and even on a good fucking day, that means that it's gonna take some time, days, weeks, sometimes months, for that vagina to get back to its normal. And it may never go back to its normal, especially if you keep repeatedly having sex.
Yeah, like if you keep just repeatedly introducing that bad bacteria. But yeah, I feel like a lot of men think that, having a lot of sex without protection won't affect them. And it actually does. Especially in the way that we just mentioned, like if you, get somebody who you're consistently doing it with, like their body will be able to tell, like if you go and have sex with someone else or something, like, because a lot of times it will result in them getting BV if they don't get an STD.
Because with BV, it's a sexually transmitted infection, and the difference between infection and sexually transmitted disease is that BV can be treated, but you have to know that it's BV. So what happens is that people often think it's a UTI or a yeast infection. They treat it with those medicines, but you actually need a specific antibiotics for BV because it's a completely different bacterial flora. So anyway, these niggas that are just coming are not also realizing that even if you don't get impregnated, they're also, without your consent, like inseminating you with all the proteins they ate that week.
Yeah.
All the alcohol they drank that week. But it's concentrated down and translated through their semen. And so the best way I can describe it is that, like, the same way that, like, eating pizza, eating wings, eating fast food will affect your ability to, like, run and, like, keep your stamina and be able to, hold your own that week or go up a flight of stairs, it will also affect your semen. Like, your semen will be different in texture, color, smell, and interacting with the vaginal flora of your lover, consensually or non-consensually, just any type of seminal interaction with them. Especially, you have to also consider that niggas be trying to, like, come in people's throat, and then they're not even checking they're not even checking and reflecting on what the fuck they ate that week, and actually doing what a lot of femmes do, which is, like, spending a whole week leading up to the possibility of having sex and cleansing our body and drinking cranberry juice and eating pineapple and trying to make sure that coochie tastes right. But are guys doing that? Are they making sure that their semen tastes delicious? Are they making sure that their semen is actually fit and balanced and healthy? Are they going to the sexual health clinic and getting their urethra swab to make sure that they're not giving someone BV?
Are you going to that clinic?
Are you going to that clinic? Are you getting your blood drawn, your ass swabbed?
Are you taking the piss test?
Because that's what women are expected to do to make sure that we don't give you anything.
Are you getting the urine culture? You need to get that blood drawn. You need to go get that finger poked and get them test results. That's what you need to go do.
And you have
when was
to.
The last time y'all got tested?
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Last time I got tested was. I got tested in 2025. I think in January.
That's this year.
Yeah, I think I got tested either in January or February. But I haven't had any new partners.
I got tested. I just went to the doctor. So I would have to say in mid and early February, I had to do a full panel blood test for my allergies as well. So I just was like, let's just get it all done together.
While we're here.
While we're here, and that's the crazy thing is that if you're willing to go get checked out, if there's something physically looking strange about your penis, you should be checking on your penis. Preventative care.
Mm-hmm.
Preventative care is something that is still pretty taboo, I think, for men and people who are assigned male at birth, like preventative care, going to the doctor. And there's a lot of understandable barriers to this, but for the niggas who have the privilege, who have the insurance, and are just acting stubborn, you're on watch.
And now, when you hear us talk about this, think about the situation in the media with the basketball player Anthony Edwards, how he has the children who he wants to sign away his rights to, and then he has the other child that's older than that, who the mother says he's not involved in that baby's life at all. Like, men like to go do things and try to ignore what happens afterwards. Even though she, the second baby lady allegedly had the baby, even though he said she should get an abortion. But just because she didn't get an abortion, like, that doesn't make it right.
Because he came inside her.
Like, the child is here now.
He came inside her.
And
Why
I
were
feel
you,
like, I don't
why
like
you thinking about that before?
I think he kind of does it a little bit probably to get back at the women as well, but like, not being in your daughter's life is not, like, you're causing more of a problem for your daughter than the woman. Like, you created a human. You should take care of it. Like, even though, you wanted the lady to get an abortion, but she did it now, your baby's here, so you gotta own up to your choices as adults.
Taylor brought up a really good point earlier, which was like, before we were on camera, mentioning like, the people with the power here are the people who are, right, they're completing the embryo, right? The egg,
And somebody commented. So the last comment, one of the two last comments, I won't lie, I didn't get tested much. So the first time I ever contracted something, now I try to go at least a few days after I've done anything sexual. I think it is important to get tested after every new partner. Like, unless that person might be practicing unsafe behaviors, but generally the rule of thumb is like after every new partner, before having sex with someone new, you get tested. Or if you just have new partners frequently, then you should get tested every 3 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, tests aren't always accurate. They say PCR tests are more accurate than culture tests, but that's not an excuse to not get tested.
Yeah, having a continual conversation with your doctor about your health and what would be the best fit for you. And the thing is, I think a lot of these men are not getting tested because, let's talk about it, they're on the DL. They're not honest with themselves about what they're doing. They're putting their dick in a glory
There's
hole.
nothing wrong with being on the DL though, I guess. Like,
And the thing is there's nothing.
I don't mean to say like, I guess like, there's nothing wrong with
No,
being gay
there's
or
not.
bisexual.
I specifically seek out bisexual lovers because I don't want to be judged for myself being bisexual. But being bisexual is not the same. You can be bisexual and you could be out and you can be closeted.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of assigned male at birth people who grow up as a man, are definitely discouraged from speaking about their sexual activities if they don't feel like it's mainstream, right? And so that means even speaking to their doctor about the frequency that they're having sex, especially if... Is my phone ringing? No.
Isn't that your phone right there?
Especially if, they're not honest with themselves. It's easy to lie to a partner, right? And the way that you can lie to a partner is by withholding information that might influence their consent.
Yeah.
That is lying.
That's important.
Withholding information about what you did that week that will influence your cum. When you ask them, oh, can I come inside you? And you don't add, I was drinking pretty heavily this week, so what you're signing up for is, a pretty unhealthy load. Calling it what it is. oh, well, you know what? If your load is kind of unhealthy right now, I'd rather you come on me, not in me.
Yeah, but even aside from just like the sperm quality that week, I think it's also important to like when people ask you about recent partners you've had, it is important to disclose because that's something that could definitely influence someone's consent to what's going on. Like if you were just fucking somebody yesterday, you should say that if you think that will change their mind. And I feel like a lot of times, I mean, obviously it's easier to not say if you think they'll be upset. But then what you have to realize you're doing then is like you're taking away that person's consent by not disclosing.
Yeah, you would
it's
want
like,
to
you
know.
know,
You would want to know.
yeah.
And you would want to know. And the cool thing that happens after you disclose is you can come up with a plan to have consensual sex with that person, right? So if someone's like, well, I'm not comfortable having sex with you if you haven't been tested after that partner, that also gives you a chance to express your boundaries and say, well, you know what, that's a good point. Have you had sex with anyone? And they can say, well, yeah, actually last week, and I haven't had a chance to get tested. And you can both, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to it being this thing where you make it about you and your shame, let it be a conversation, let it be both of you taking the time to be vulnerable. And if you're expecting it to only be yourself being vulnerable, that's you putting that shame on you. You're not ready to have sex yet. You're not ready to have sex. You're only ready to have non-consensual sex. And, depending on your lover, they might not be interested in that. And the thing is that as hard it is to accept that, you get to sign up for amazing sex with someone else who wants that. Because for every person who doesn't want something, there is someone who wants that. There's people who want messy sex because, they have higher immunity and they can handle it. And there's people who are like, oh, I'd love to have that where, we're sleeping with multiple people, and I'm part of your world and you're part of my world and I sleep with your partners. People look for that. They want that. So I think that when you deny yourself the truth, when you deny, telling other people the truth about you, you also deny yourself that opportunity to be reassured. You deny yourself the opportunity to be activated sensually in a way that's fully and authentically yourself. You really deny yourself the opportunity to have sex with someone who fully wants to have sex with you. And when you don't allow someone to have informed consent, you also don't allow yourself to have consensual sex. What you're doing is you're having non-consensual sex with someone. That's what you're doing. It's not what you want to hear. It's not sexy because it's assault. That's why it's not sexy. That's why it's a difficult conversation. If you feel guilty when you're talking this through with someone, that's probably because you're asking too high a price of them. You're asking too much. And this is why it comes down to the entitlement that has been indoctrinated in this country, where and it's how this country was built. We have been raised to believe that women, especially black women, are raised to help repopulate the race of black people to continue adding to the labor population. And when the labor population was moved out of the fields, it was moved into the prisons. So if you do not believe that this is happening, it's a matter of going to a library. I didn't say Google for a reason. I said a library. Go to a library, ask the librarian, can I read a book about reproductive behaviors and how women in this country have been treated with the laws, the limitations in the education system, the limitations in home ownership, the limitations in credit, how all of those have led to men feeling entitled to a woman's body, especially even if someone identifies as non-binary, still insisting on seeing them as a woman and feeling entitled to their reproductive timeline. I get to decide when this person makes a baby and it's gonna be my baby, and I get to decide, as opposed to it being a discussion with intentions, with planning, with questions, with the proper tests and genealogy and everything, where you can feel like you're making a commitment that is sustainable.
So, somebody said that defeats the purpose of being in the moment. If we're having raw intercourse, it's bound to happen.
Not necessarily.
Are both false statements.
Not necessarily. Here's the thing. Nobody's saying don't come. What I'm saying, right? Nobody's saying hold back. It's just come in the person who wants you to come in them, and come outside of the person if that person doesn't want that. Why are you trying to come in somebody without asking?
Yeah. You should not be doing that without asking first.
Because if you're doing that without asking, you're telling that person, not only will I take responsibility for this child, I will take responsibility for your body, your health, your finances, and your housing. And guess what? Some people don't want that from you. They don't want you around that long. And maybe you don't want to face that reality, but that's the reality of life. And if you force someone to make that choice while a baby is inside them, you're going to have the hormones to deal with. Because the hormones when someone is pregnant don't play. You don't want someone to be upset while they're pregnant. That's not a safe time. It's a very dangerous time for someone to be going through volatile emotions. If you're not discussing with someone their comfort level with you coming inside them, and you know that about yourself. Okay, so say for instance, you love coming in someone every single time. If you know that about you, honor that, say that, stand on that, speak on that. Why are you hiding that? If it's no big deal, why is it a secret? Why isn't that sexy to say it out loud if it's what you want?
Yeah. Maybe there's something about you that wants to take away some of these rights. Have you ever thought about that? You want to take away somebody's decision on yes or no? Because it's not bound to happen. Like, you're not going to sit up and tell me you don't have a decision on whether or not to respect somebody's consent in the heat of the moment.
So this person said, but why discuss that beforehand? I just think if you're in the moment,
just pull out. You don't have to discuss that beforehand. Your default should be pulling out. You should not be coming in somebody default. Like, you should not be doing that.
Yeah, because if you're coming in somebody default, even if you're Elon Musk, check this guy out. Elon Musk is over here having all these children with different women. And
we're not talking about a old man.
No, we're not talking, yeah.
We're not talking about
We're talking, the main topic that we want to keep on is why it's non-consensual to come inside someone without their consent, without discussing it. And nobody is saying that this conversation has to be dry, boring, rude. I think that the conversation should be fun, you know? It doesn't have to be, so cut and dry. You could just be like, where do you want me to come? If you're the guy that has to always come and you like that and you always get turned on, good for you. But then you need to be thinking about where would she find it? Where would he find it? Where would this person find it sexy? Because guess what? Even if you're having sex with another male, it's still not consensual to come in them. Even if it doesn't make a baby, you could still be giving them a sexually transmitted infection. So if you're not comfortable, automatically, holding or having a discussion about your cum, nobody's asking you to be nobody's asking you to have this self-control where you can stop in the moment. I think it's natural. It's a natural occurrence in sex to eventually come if you are having sex. But it's
pull that motherfucker out though.
But yeah, it's also a natural occurrence to get kicked in the balls when somebody tries to come in you and they didn't ask. It's also a natural occurrence to punch somebody in the fucking face if they try to come in you and completely change your life without a discussion. You're like, why talk about it? Because it could change your life financially, spiritually, emotionally, and if you wouldn't do it,
what are you saying? I'm sorry, there's a comment. What are you saying? What are the odds of that happening? What do you mean? The odds of what happening in today's modern age where everything's sexualized? What do you mean? What are the odds of what?
Yeah.
So good. We're eating kettle corn. It's so tasty.
Well, yeah, okay, so I agree the pull-out method should be first, but what are the odds of that happening in today's modern age where everything is sexualized?
What do you mean? You are in control of your own shit. I think this is another element to it. Men need to be more in control of their actions. I
Yeah.
feel like men, they, try to portray themselves as not emotional, but men really do follow their instant emotional
Impulses.
yeah. Like, you gotta have self-control if you're gonna be having sex with other people. And if you don't have self-control, maybe you shouldn't be having sex with anyone then. Because that's how people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is awkward. What did you say? Nothing actually. I was just thinking it's awkward sitting here alone after we just talked about.
Well, you can always switch
Should we
gears.
set up
You ready?
chess? I can set it up.
Yeah.
We're gonna transition to chess now. Get a little bit more lighthearted with the night.
Yeah.
But that was a good talk.
Yeah. It's a good talk.
That was a good talk. Yeah, I didn't even mean to get like all podcasty on y'all, but I don't know if you guys are just now joining in. You haven't been here from the beginning. I was just talking about how I went through this experience where I expected someone to pull out. And they didn't. And it just didn't end well. Well, if that's true, then you should practice self-control more. But I mean, if you're here because you don't have self-control, maybe that's a good thing because we're talking about consent. Maybe you need to be here to listen to that. We are about to play Chessiana. I was playing my little brother earlier because we went to Texas Roadhouse. He wanted to take me to Texas Roadhouse for my birthday because he loves Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse is not my favorite restaurant, but we went there. I tried the ribs. The ribs were good. Like, I was shocked at how good the ribs were. They were very tender. They were very freaking tender. I'm not gonna blunder the queen. I warmed up already with like 3 games, and I won. So I'm gonna do good. No, that's not true. Just because if we were having sex without a condom doesn't mean I give you consent to do whatever you want to do. And I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that. Like, I don't know if you're trying to gaslight me or what, but that's not what that means. And you should do some research before you end up catching a case yourself. But yeah, they really do fall off the bone. Like, after I had those ribs today, I was like, damn, why have I not been getting ribs from Texas Roadhouse when I go? Because I think the first time I ever went there, I got like a steak, which was okay. But the ribs were better than the steak. But then I got the loaded mashed potatoes on the side, and they were not good. It was like mostly sour cream. It was mostly sour cream. Here are having popcorn, kettle corn. It's so good. I haven't played Dante in a while. Who do y'all got y'all money on? Who you think finna win? We'll see what happens tonight in this game. We haven't played each other in a while. about to stop smoking weed. Oh. Yes, I'll put this on the other side so y'all can see the chest better. That popcorn was fucking yummy. Who's gonna be white? Who's gonna be black? Who's gonna be white? Who's gonna be black? Maybe I do want to be white, but I played as white all day today, damn near. And I feel like Dante is gonna want to be white, so I'll just let them be white. I'll let them do their number on white. Let's move this chest back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, just getting a little closer to the chest. There we go. Now we're gonna go into some sweet chest.
Have a good night, though, Queen. I love how they
Yeah.
talk to you.
Like he does some crazy shit.
We
You
did.
trying to gaslight me? Or what?
Yeah, it's. I feel like I don't get upset until like a nigga is like, it's no big deal, and then I'm mad. Then I'm like, so you're saying committing to a child is a small thing? Like that's when I get tripped up. Yeah, grab a white, black palm, make a fist. Whichever hand she chooses is her color.
I already decided to be white.
We tried it, y'all. How did y'all meet?
How do you mean?
I guess they're talking to us.
Who said that?
Gunther 1212.
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh, you can see the comments too.
Oh my god, why am I not seeing that yet? Was that after somebody said they don't want to play chess?
Have a good night, though, Queen. It was like the last one. It was like really recent.
Oh, did I like the rolls? I think the rolls were decent. I would like the rolls more if they had less sugar. Like they were a little bit too sweet for me. But they were really soft and warm. I'm not seeing that comment.
It's low. It's like more
Is
recent.
it mine on the big?
Oh, yours are not updated. Mine is like fresh.
Not there yet.
77. Have a good night, though, Queen.
So how did we meet? We randomly met at this focus group that your father was throwing. It was like my mom was going, and then she gave them my phone number and was like, "Oh, call my daughter, invite my daughter," and I just randomly answered the phone. It wasn't even like my mom. My mom didn't even tell me they were going to be calling me. I just, luckily that day, I happened to answer an unknown number, and then it led me to where you were at.
Yeah, and I had no idea what was going on. Like, I got into the car and had no idea we were going to a focus group. It was like bring your daughter to work day vibes for me. I had no idea where my father was going, what he was doing. He tried to explain it to me poorly. He told me I could just chill out. I was basically having a bad tummy ache, so I'd been like hanging out at my dad's house. And I think it was on my period because I was just so out of it. So I just remember being like, Tyler's the only person that I would actually hang out with after this. No,
Yeah.
no offense, but everybody else was a bit older.
Yeah. We were like the two youngest people in the room.
I invited them to Chinatown Library to co-work, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't playing chess right away. We were just like meeting up and then
Talking.
chit chatting,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out what we had in common, what our goals were. I'm very goal oriented, so that was my main focus. Was like, what's your goals? What?
I was so impressed by Dante. I was like, we just need to be friends.
Yeah, I had no idea. Tyler was so impressive themselves.
Oh,
Like,
thank you.
you know, I think in daily life, Tyler is very low key. So I was very impressed by the things you had said about entrepreneurship, generational wealth, and just like you were just trying to be more conscious about it. And I just felt like I didn't know a lot of people who felt that way, you know, who were actually trying to understand how to better their situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like I knew a lot of people who just like wanted to be a rapper, but like had no sense of like business or like no sense of like any of the behind the scenes work or something. Or I knew people who like wanted to get like a high paying job, but they were focused in like tech. So just like I saw myself as an entrepreneur, and I felt like Tyler saw me that way too. So it's like when you meet someone who like agrees to see you the way you want to see yourself, it's good to keep spending time with them because it's very validating. Like I was like, you know what, I am a business owner, I am an entrepreneur, I will get, you know, it was very empowering to me. It's kind of like how dating can be very empowering to your identity because it can give you that fresh start to describe yourself again to a new person.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about new friends. New friends, you can kind of start where you want to be. And I remember meeting Tyler and being like, I really want to see myself as an entrepreneur. And Tyler accepted me as that, and it made me be even more serious about my goals, you know, and taking myself serious, you know. I had no idea Tyler was such a baddie, like, because you know I'm meeting Tyler with their mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm meeting Tyler with my dad. I'm not trying hard. I'm relaxed, you know.
Yeah, I think this was about 2 summers ago when we met, but I think we really started to really hang out like this summer and fall. This fall is like this past fall is when we really got into chess together.
Yeah.
I mean, Dante was playing chess before me, but because of Dante, I started playing chess more.
And I didn't really have someone to play in person, so because of Tyler, I significantly improved in chess because Tyler was the only person for I feel like a year who would like regularly hit me up and be like, "You want to play chess?"
Let's play some chess.
And so it became just a really fun adventure to just be meeting up, and like I feel like you were the first person to hit me up at, you know, a late hour and want to go to a bar or something and play chess or just go out. You know, I'm not really like that. Like I'll send people the flyer, I'll tell people they should go, you know, but I don't really initiate such activities in the night. So it was really nice. I felt like I was getting out of my shell a bit. I tend to be a little controlling and only go to the events that I plan myself and just be like, well, you know, I can control all the elements and be safe this way. So it really was me getting out of my shell to like go somewhere where like I didn't know everything, you know. And so I think chess made me feel a bit safer, gave me something to do, something to look at, something to touch. That wasn't just like an alcoholic drink.
Something to think about.
Yeah, something to think about. And just like it was a good conversation starter as well. You know, and no matter how many times you play, you discover new stuff about yourself or how to play, or I liked that. So, and I think Tyler was one of the first people where I was like trying to teach as I was learning, but Tyler quickly surpassed me and started to defeat me. And so our games became these like intense matches. You know, where I'd be like, I need to rematch.
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot survive without trying to get this rematch in.
This California is so good.
It's just straight goodness. I've been just obsessed with just eating popcorn. My roommate keeps getting me into stuff. My roommate loves Medjool dates, and then I started buying those. I was like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
And then my roommate loves popcorn, so I started buying. Like, you know, I would borrow their popcorn, but then when I realized how much of it I was eating, I was like, I should buy my own. They're like, oh, have as much as you like. And I was like, don't say that to me. It will become my safe food, and then you will be out of popcorn every single day, my guy. You will be out. Let's see what people said in the comments.
W backstory for show. Y'all articulate very well. I'm gonna definitely tune in more often.
Aww.
Thank you, Dr. 1212. Demolishing that popcorn.
Comments anymore. Gift a sub now to be number 1. Who's gonna be our first sub? Oh, show all your cheermates. I'm still learning how this works. Send it. Okay, I shouldn't. I'm like learning how Twitch works live.
You're not as easy to beat as my little brother. So knight to f6.
Oh yeah, I need to start saying the notations too.
I brought my brother the chessboard he has for his birthday. We were using it, and it has the marks. Yeah, the notation. So I was like peeking at it a little bit, but I didn't want to scare him off too bad because he already forfeited the last game because I kept beating him. So I was like, I'm just trying to say it in my head. And he was like, really, you want to play again? And I was like, you should learn from this. So I was like, this is how I got good at playing chess, playing somebody who kept beating me all the time.
Honestly, it's the fastest way, and you reminded me of that when I was playing the little one. I was like, you know what, I should actually start attacking.
Yeah.
I feel like my weakness is that I don't really think about like king protection. I can get like really excited and like you know, I could get a little hyper focused on taking the center.
I'm glad we had that conversation on stream.
Me too.
That's going straight on YouTube. This is going straight on YouTube. I feel like that'll be very valuable for people to hear and replay.
I know, we about to save somebody's cousin, somebody's TG, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter life, because BB is very difficult to shake, especially when you don't realize that you can keep getting it from the same partner.
Yeah. Because when you look online, like I remember when I was like first ever found out what it was because it happened to me. But it was like when you look online and you ask your doctor, they're like, oh yeah, men can't carry BV, men can't spread BV, and that's not true. Like that's outdated medical knowledge.
There's new research coming out. We're on
It's crazy.
We're on the top of the research because we have to be. Like
A lot of medical knowledge is outdated. You would not believe it.
that's why I'm like, get tested. You might be on the beginning of a new strain of something.
Yeah, for real. Because there's even like bacterias that are considered STDs in other continents that they don't regularly test for here. And one of them is called, what's this shit called? It's something with N. One of them is called ureaplasma, and then there's another one called mycoplasma. And there's like 2 different strains of those, and those can also be like, give you symptoms and stuff. I did a lot of research on Reddit. Like I first found out about it from TikTok, but I have like a lot of anxiety, so I just like to be up on my research and know what's what. Because doctors in the US, like they don't like routinely test for that type of shit either.
They're not incentivized to do that.
Yeah. Did you go?
I moved.
That was after I kept it.
I feel like I did that in response to.
Me canceling.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like, fuck, I should cast. So I moved it.
Yes, BB is very, very serious. I feel like at this point there's not a lot of, I feel like most of my viewers on Twitch right now are male. But, yeah, if you know somebody and they coochies might smell a little off, you might, I mean, they might have BB and they might need to get swabbed. Because I feel like a lot of people in the United States are not up on their healthcare shit because our fucking healthcare system sucks ass.
It's really bad. Like, just compare whatever services, you do with in America and just like look up the same service in another country. It's pretty bad. It's pretty.
What are you up to tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
clean
Nice.
was my roommate.
Tomorrow I have my class at 1 p.m. which means I probably need to wake up at 10 a.m. which means I need to be sleeping by 1 a.m.
Okay, whatever, that needs to be a little bit more respectful of your time.
I mean, I'm not trying to rush through anything. I'll just make it enough.
I appreciate you making it known because I'm really bad at making it known when I have something else going on. And then I spend most of the social time I have with someone agonizing over when to tell them I have something to do later. So I really appreciate you. Wait, did you move?
Yeah.
Yeah, you moved your night, right? Check. Very good.
need a chest clock. You're so right about that.
A chest what?
You said we need a chest clock.
We do. We do.
Sometimes we be playing chess on stream and it be taking 2 hours to finish one game.
It's true. It's because, yeah. It's because I feel like it takes the tiniest amount of herb, and then I'm gone.
You have any goals?
I do.
Yay!
I personally think the pineapple ones taste better, but they're the same dosage, 10 milligrams.
Nice. Where'd you get these from?
Ivy Hall. You kind of see the label on the bottom. I think it's more. You have to kind of like press it to open it.
Oh.
There you go.
I think it's from There's no way.
There you go. So we got some. It might be. Yeah. This might be 5 milligrams or something in here.
It says 100 milligrams per container, so if there's only 10 pieces.
Oh, then yeah, there's 10 milligrams then. It's a little 10 count. Let's show.
Dante's got some little
Let's show the people.
gummies.
We've got some. One Ozone, sponsor us.
So you went, right?
Yeah, I
You moved your king up.
yeah. To save myself. Oh yeah, these are way better cookies. These have a little bitterness to them. I struggle with.
Maybe I will try both.
You should.
Thank you. What move should I make? I can't ask you that. That's cheating.
Oh. I showed you about to answer, and I'm like, wait, I cannot be helpful to my opponent.
Okay.
Let's see what the chat say.
Okay. I'm gonna block your palm with my knife.
Okay. I kind of trapped myself in here a little. I'm in my own little hell.
These are yummy.
Yeah, right? It got some good flavor to them. Well, let's just try.
We are fancy with the tea.
Yeah, these are some good cups. Shit. Okay. Just gonna commit to that. My sister got a new phone number, my little sister, and she texted me, and it was so funny because it was like a new number. You know, she didn't start out with, "Hey, it's your sister," you know.
Yeah.
She goes, "Hey, I got a new number. I'll see you on Tuesday. I'm sleeping over.
Ah.
I'm covering dinner. Be ready."
I was like, so silly. Like,
I was like,
who is this?
"Who is that?" She goes, oh, it's your sis. I'm like, you know I have multiple siblings if you're actually my sis. Which sis is this? I have two biological sisters who both be talking to me like that. So I'm like, stop playing with me. My sister's like, oh, it's me, Nina. I'm like, because I have a sister based in Memphis that will show up like that. She will text me and be like, all right, I'm coming in 2 days, be ready, type shit. She will talk to me like that. And I've told her, don't scare me like that.
Yeah.
I got the tism and I need to plan ahead. And same goes with my little sister. I tell them the same thing. So this was actually my sister trying to plan ahead and give me what I like. But I was also like, she got the tism. She got a different type of tism.
Yeah.
Where she don't be giving no type of context. She just be jumping right in. So I definitely had a little moment where I was like, who is this? Who is inviting themselves over my house? Uh, uh, okay.
What's gonna happen?
Well, I have no choice but to save my bishop. That you were threatening with my knight when you were threatening with your knight.
Yeah. I have to do something. I gotta get this done. Alright. Take your pawn. First piece taken. It's a pawn.
So what I always struggle with is when I do a puzzle and like I don't know what. So I feel like I'm a very vindictive player, because I feel like I always want to like take a piece if someone took a piece. But if you watch a puzzle, like it's always like you focus on the next move, and I always want to like go back a couple steps and be like, did they just take my piece though? Because now things have changed. No. All right, you take a pawn, I take a pawn. We're all taking pawns now. No pawn is safe. Don't do it.
Ain't that something?
Be careful out there. Well. God damn it. It's one bishop or another, huh? Who's gonna take? Who's gonna take a pawn? So, oh, I can't get into this one. So, yeah, in the but I'm debating going to an event where I might run into Guy K. And I'm considering it because I was on a date and I made a new friend while I was on the date.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cute because it was like, you know, when you're on a date and we make a friend together. And I got this new friend's email and we've been like emailing each other and I think that's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
This person's very like musical and, you know, they're very like me, I feel like, the same
Mhm.
skin tone, height, even, and they're also like, you know, trying their thing at singing and rapping and stuff. So
What's your name?
I won't get into, you know, their
Oh.
name, but
What letter does it start with?
I haven't talked to you about this person, but they're just like actually I can show you the poster that like led me to be like, I
Okay.
kind of want to go support this new friend.
Also, I did make my
So like I saw this and I sent this to like my date and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. The person that like we ran into, this is the person we met and like became friends with while we were out at this like jazz event, which is so cute.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, worlds colliding. They're gonna be playing with
Yeah.
with, you know, Guy K's children. I'll put it like
Yeah.
that. And basically I feel like I lost the children in the divorce. And I have since maintained wonderful connections with each of the children individually,
Mm-hmm.
but not with the original project that we had worked on as two co-parents. So I still feel a bit punished that I haven't had access to the children all together,
Yeah.
which I had started to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I made the mistake of sending that flyer to my date, being like, oh my, getting all excited, being like, oh my god, look, all the world's colliding. And then my date was like, yeah, we should go. And I was like,
I don't know about that.
yeah, I was just kind of showing you the poster because I thought it would be cute, not like, and I think my date, I'm like, if you want to go, for sure. But I was like, there's a chance I might run into my ex there, and I don't think it would be energetically worth it for me to interact with them alone or with anyone, honestly. I think it would just be in my best interest to, knowing full well that their children are going to be there, it's high chance that they will be there, and I've actually gone a long time without interacting with them,
Yeah.
which feels like a huge win. So I don't really want to feel like I'm like backtracking, you know. So, well, I don't know if it was a mistake to share it, but like I feel a little silly now.
Take a risk. Take care of the phone.
I don't know if I would react a certain way, but I think that I would at best dissociate, and I don't really think that's the best plan for me right now. I don't really have tools to combat my dissociation besides like prevention right now. So I've just been like more concerned with just being honest with myself. If I know something's gonna like be uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
instead of being like, I'm gonna behave the way I think I should behave. I think I should be over this shit. Instead of being like, I don't think I have the stamina for that particular kind of discomfort right now in my life.
Yeah, that's very good to, just keep that going for yourself.
Yeah, I was the one that was like, I think that so far I've been blessed to interact with the children individually. They message me, and I feel like I have successfully been able to support all of their individual projects, so I'm more focused on that.
Yeah.
I just definitely can't let you do that. Actually, I can't let you do that. So how can I stop you? What a pickle. Oh. Can I just take here? Do anything? Taking a hike.
Take your night at H3.
We got 2 nights is took. Oh crap. All right.
God dang it! Oh no!
There's nowhere to go. Checkmate. Checkmate has been reached, and in the words of one of my last great opponents, you might need to kick over the king. GG. Oh.
He dead.
Dead. Oh my gosh.
Alrighty, I'm gonna have to call it one, y'all. We had a good ass stream, y'all.
Yeah, we did the
Thanks for staying to the end, y'all. If you want to replay this conversation, y'all, I'm gonna put it on YouTube, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Deuces.